Picture this, a group of strangers in a dimly lit room at West Virginia University. Their stories are raw, trauma, anxiety, hope, and Dr. Jacobs watches closely, ready to step in. But not too soon. The tension is thick, and every word, every silence holds power. How does a leader guide this shifting, fragile collective without snapping it? That's the quiet magic of group counseling, and Jacobs reveals exactly how to pull it off. Every group is like a little universe with its own rhythm. But how does a counselor know when to push or when to hold back? Getting the timing right is everything. Jacobs describes a substance abuse group in Morgantown, WV, where the first meetings are pure chaos. People test boundaries, air anger, or shut down completely. Over weeks, that mess morphs. Bonding grows as members move through forming, storming, norming, performing, and finally adjourning. Watching Midwesterners open up despite initial coldness is a masterclass in patience. Think of group leadership like a DJ at a dance party. At first, the counselor spins slow tracks to get people comfortable, setting norms and easing tension. Then, as the beat drops, the leader shifts style, encouraging raw emotion and deep sharing. Jacobs calls this the active leadership model, knowing when to fade into the background and when to spike the energy. As members take on roles, leader, challenger, nurturer, the group doesn't just survive, it thrives. Jacobs highlights a woman's journey from silent observer to vocal advocate in a grief counseling group. She says, "Finding my voice here changed my whole life." That's the payoff, real transformation sparked by the group's evolving dynamic. Behind every great group session, there's a bedrock theory. Jacobs packs 5 major ones into this edition, and each one reads like a psychological cheat code for real breakthroughs. In a clinical group in Charleston, WV, Jacobs recounts how psychodynamic therapy helped a man named Carl uncover childhood wounds fueling his addiction. The group setting let Carl witness how his unconscious defenses played out, and finally name them aloud. This insight wasn't just academic, it cracked open the door to real change. Humanistic theory in group counseling is the equivalent of turning down the world's noise so everyone can hear each other's heartbeat. Jacobs highlights a teen support group where empathy and unconditional positive regard weren't just buzzwords, they were lifelines. That atmosphere makes people less guarded, unleashing a torrent of authentic connection. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, plays brain mechanic in group sessions. Jacobs illustrates with a scenario from a depression group. Members learn to catch and challenge destructive thoughts together, reframing "I'm worthless" into "I'm struggling, but I'm trying." This mental tune-up transforms despair into empowerment, all within the group's safe environment. Counseling groups don't happen in a vacuum. Jacobs dives deep into the fiercely needed ethics and multicultural sensitivity that keep groups safe and real. Jacobs shares a tense moment from a co-led veterans group in Pittsburgh. When one member disclosed self-harm urges, the counselors faced a split-second ethical decision: protect confidentiality or intervene for safety. They chose transparency with agreed boundaries, preserving trust whilst acting responsibly, an intense dance of courage and care. Co-leading isn't just doubling up, it's a strategic balancing act. Jacobs presents co-leaders Mara and Lewis, who blend firmness and warmth perfectly. While Mara spots conflict sparks, Lewis soothes emotions. Together, they create a dynamic equilibrium, making group navigation smoother and deeply humane. Diversity isn't just a checkbox, it's the soil where authentic healing grows. Jacobs recounts how a multicultural women's group in Raleigh shattered stereotypes by embracing different cultural expressions of grief and strength. That openness didn't dilute the group's unity. It supercharged empathy and insight beyond what uniformity could achieve. Remember that tense first meeting we dropped into? It wasn't chaos anymore. The group had shifted, people trusted the space, shared their truths, and found something new in each other. That's the power Jacobs teaches, how to guide groups from fragility to strength, silence to voice, strangers to a healing community. Try this if you're ever in a group, watch for the stage it's in and adjust your energy. That's the sweet spot where magic happens. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.